Now, based on British dominancy status, just check out in British India, Britishers were not allowing Indians to become, say, administrative level officer. For example, today we are calling IAS officer. No. In those days they were called as ICS officer. They were not allowing. They were pretending that Britishers are always superior than you. Even in defense services, the superior positions were in hands of Britishers. And now these Aryans entered in India. Initially, they were having only 3 varna, that is Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishya. But as they spread from here to internal parts, they also considered the other people, the conquered people, as their part of system, as 4th class, that is 4th varna, that is Shudra. Like that, theories were developed during Max Muller initially, and then these theories were accepted by Britishers very easily, because now they were having challenge to local people here, that how you are telling Britishers to go outside India, because you are also outsiders in India. And this way they accepted this concept. Now this is called as Aryan invention theory of India. Now certain drawbacks of these theories that I must discuss here. No doubt we are continuing this theory only in history, we are using, but certain drawbacks are there. Number one, what is the exact meaning of word Aryan? For example, the Aryan word is used as race-wise or something else. Let us check. Here, one great religion was born, that is called as Buddhism. Lord Buddha founded this religion. He was often described as Shakya Muni. Shakya is the Sanskrit word Tadhita of word Shak. The Shak means actually some Mongoloid clan or people from this part. The Shak Kula Utpanna, that is originated in Shak race, that is racially we are using word as Shakya. People from Nepal also called as Shakya, and their kingdom was there at Kapilavastu, that was called as Shakya kingdom. So Lord Gautam Buddha was Shakya, and still in his religion he given importance to 4 noble truth. Now in English I am translating that as 4 noble truth, but originally in Sanskrit we are calling that as Char Arya Satya. So here word is used Arya Satya. If Arya is racial word, then why Lord Buddha was used it? He should call it as, if at all he want to use racially, some different word he should use. Why Arya? Arya means here word is noble, a people or something at higher level. That truth, so he called that as Arya Satya. First. Second, what word or what sentence that was used in Rigveda is Krunvanto Vishwam Aryam. Let us make this universe noble. They are not using word like we have to spread Aryans in all the world. No, they said let us make this universe as noble. Again, keep in mind here also the word used Arya is something like noble. Third thing, if at all these Aryans were invaded from this Caucasus mountain range to India, then they must have their territories, whatever the invaded territories, must have kept proof of their invasion. All these people should be Sanskrit speaking people, and what is the most important thing over here, that totally Indian culture should be different and Aryan culture invaded in India, that should be different. Racially speaking, Indian race is something different. European race, if Aryans were having European genes, then obviously our body structure should be different. Now, this is something problematic. In Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, whatever the fossils we got, according to Aryan invention theory, they invaded India 3000 years ago, whereas Mohenjo-daro and Harappa lost out 5000 years ago. Still, in Mohenjo-daro, certain fossils means remains of dead animal, particularly human fossils, were found. In certain part, we got skeletons of human that was properly having funeral system and buried inside a coffin. And still, we got this evidence here. Out of some, they are saying 5 skeletons, 3 skeletons belong to Tamil type people, that is Dravidian class of people, and 2 type of people, the 2 dead bodies, skeletons, were somewhat Mongoloid in nature. No skeleton is resembling to native Punjabi or Sindhi person. And that's why present day the Punjabi and Sindhi persons who are staying there, they are not living 3000 or 5000 years ago. Let us check out. In Hinduism, at all, suppose in Mohenjo-daro and Harappa people were following Hinduism, then obviously in Hinduism the funeral, you are aware that we are calling that as Agni Sanskar. We are burning out that body, and whatever the ash of bone is remaining, that is just spread out in the river, water source. But in Hindus also certain clans are there. They are not burning out their bodies. Then in that case, may be possible these bodies belong to that people, not entirely representation of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. In latter phase, this Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, that is Punjab and Sindh territory, was constantly invaded by outsiders, and ultimately outsiders get settled out in this territory. Not Aryan, but after that Greeks, then Scythian, then Yuchids, then Yungnu, all these categories settled out in this territory, and that's why we got different in faces. May be possible. Another thing that is very, very important over here, that DNA test carried out, and it is concluded that no European genes were found. That means, suppose we are saying that German and Indians are brothers of each other. No, our genetically in DNA test we are not having similarities. That is the indication that Aryans are not there from outside the world, entered in India. Now our theory says they were Indians only. And what Veda was given, that was in this territory. But it is not that all Aryans were settled out here. Say, in Vedas, there are references of 6 months days and 6 months night. So can I call that Aryans were there from North Pole? Stupidity. May be possible some of the Aryan travelers must have visited this territory and then it is mentioned. But anyway, this theory is able to get certain ideas. Just check out on YouTube various supporters and oppositions of these theories you may find, and by listening everybody you will get, okay, that is true. So forget of that. Only I am giving you fewer contradictions to this theory. ultimately, the most important proof, at age of 75, Max Muller declared this theory is not real. This is fake theory. Actually, Aryans were not race. Aryans is category of people. That is the noble man, gentleman, like that. And that's why we should at least believe in latter Max Muller. Ultimately, he was saying his name, not Max Muller. He was calling his name as Moksha Muller. Forget of that, come to point. So here, the Aryan invention theory, one important part, whatever there in concept, I am able to discuss here. Now, we are switching over to another topic, that is world history topic now.